Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and Happy New Year. It's 2019. Crazy. Hope everyone had a happy and safe New Year's Eve. Now, I am participating in the Seasons Giving blog hop. This has gone on for many years now, and this is my first time participating. I'm really excited. So for my video today, I am using the Honeybee Stamps Nail Polish Bottle Wafer Dies. I've used the stamp set in a couple of videos and made a ton of cards with it, but I've never done the actual nail polish shaped cards, and I thought it was high time because I've had all these supplies, everything planned out for months. So I have the base die there with some white cardstock that will cut the actual polish shaped card, and then there's dies to cut the nail polish. So you can cut from any color cardstock, or you could use watercolor paper, whatever you want to make your nail polish. And then there's a die for the lid. There's an outline die that you could use to create a shaker if you wanted. There's bows. There's so many dies in this set. So I used the base die cut a whole bunch of bases. I ended up making 6 of these because they were just fun. So I die cut 6 bases with white cardstock, and then I cut 6 different types of polish. I did sparkly and some satin and some metallic. And then the lids I die cut from, I have this Tonic black velvet cardstock. It's like a black satin. It's really nice, and it's perfect for the nail polish lids. I've literally had this specifically for these cards for the longest time because I was like, it looks like a nail, it literally looks like the lid of a nail polish bottle. So I die cut all of that. And then to assemble, I just fold the little nail polish cards in half. I used my Teflon bone folder to kind of reinforce the fold. And then I adhered the lids and the bases with Gina K Connect glue. And then for the bows, I die cut the 3D bow option from all the same foil and glitter cardstocks. And then you just kind of fold them over and adhere little tabs. With the more metallic cardstocks, I use my bone folder, kind of how how you hold your thumb and with scissors and run ribbon through it to get the curl for gifts and that. Kind of the same idea, holding my thumb against the edge. You can see right there, holding my thumb against the edge of the bone folder with that piece of cardstock. Just kind of curl it a bit. It helps to kind of soften the fibers in the paper. Makes it a little easier to bend and fold because especially metallic papers don't really want to do that without serious cracking. None of these cracked though, so I was really impressed. So I did all the bows. I did everything in the same steps. I did all my die cutting once. I did all the adhering of the lids and the polish to the card bases all at once. I made all my bows at once, and I used my reverse tweezers to hold those bows in place with the adhesive while it dried. Made that a lot quicker to do. So after I've got everything kind of somewhat assembled, I grabbed the coordinating Shine On stamp set and stamped the Many Thanks stamp multiple times on black cardstock with clear embossing ink, and I used my anti-static powder tool on the cardstock first. Then I stamped the sentiment multiple times with the clear embossing ink, and then I'm coating it with some Ultrafine gold embossing powder. Then I'm going to let my heat tool heat up just for a few seconds so it gets good and hot, and then bring it to the embossing powder. And it's always my favorite part when it melts. It's just especially when it's metallic embossing powders. Regular embossing powder is nice, but when metallic embossing powder melts, it's just it's the most satisfying thing. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I always love it. So melted all of those at once, and then there is a coordinating die set for that Shine On stamp set, and there's a die that will cut that out, which was perfect. So I die cut all those with that little coordinating die. And then to adhere the bows to these cards, I used a little mini 3D foam dot right behind the center part of the bow that, kept it popped up enough so the bow is still, nice and dimensional, but it's also really strong adhesive, so it adheres it really good. So I use that for the bows, and then for the sentiments, I just use a little Derice, one of my little narrow foam strips, because it was the perfect size, so I don't have to sit and fiddle and trim down anything. So adhered everything, and again, doing this is how I do my assembly style. If I'm making multiples of cards or very similar cards like this, I kind of do everything at once. It makes this whole process go a lot easier. So now I'm in a, adhering mode. So I'm adhering everything. The only thing I would do differently is I would have stamped the sentiment on the inside before adhering the bows and sentiments. That made it a little difficult. I managed to make it work, but I would stamp the sentiments. Then at the end, I would adhere the bows and the sentiments. It just would have made things a lot easier. But again, hindsight always. So I got everything adhered. I've sped it up in the editing here, even though it didn't take very long, but we don't need to sit here for, 15 minutes or whatever, however long it took me to adhere everything down. So now I've got my bows adhered, my sentiments adhered, and then I grabbed a couple more sentiments from that Shine On stamp set and the one that says you, and nailed it. So I'm going to line those up just on my grid mat so I get them straight, and then pick them up with my acrylic block. And then I'm going to use the VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink that I showed in a recent haul video. So this is my first time using it, so first impression. Right now, first impression, it's great. Really like it. It's great. That's about all I can say, because I literally just used it to stamp the sentiments and that's it. So it was a little bit tricky. I was very careful holding these cards because of the dimension and they're smaller. It was, I wanted to make sure these stamped nicely, if that makes sense. So I was able to make it work, but it would have been easier and a little less nerve-wracking if I had stamped the sentiments before adhering those bows, because the dimension of it just made it a little bit difficult to get the base of the card flat to stamp that sentiment. But it worked, so I'm happy, and these turned out really, really cute. I don't know, I really love these nail polish themed dies and stamps. I just think they're the cutest things ever. So I stamped on the insides, and that finished these off. So, as always, I will have a link below the video to my blog post. I'll have a supply list and links to all the supplies used. Definitely check it out, because like I said, this is part of a blog hop. It is a massive, huge blog hop. Tons of amazing designers, tons of giveaways, worth checking out. Blog post will be the first link directly below the video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Happy New Year's, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye.